Good afternoon. I almost said good morning.
Good afternoon. How are you today? Hello.
How are you?
Good. I'm ready for afternoon tea.
Excellent. Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes. I actually have nothing to drink. I have nothing to drink right now. Perhaps that will change as the time wears on, but
Yes.
I have nothing to drink right now. So, well, I'm telling you, I'm basically just now recovered from WitchCon weekend.
Yes. Yes.
That was amazing, wild, incredible. We were on the meet and greet until 3:30 in the morning my time on Monday morning. So yeah, it was I think it's, part of it is that we just haven't been able to gather together. And the idea of us gathering together is so important. It really is. As diverse a group as we are and as differing our opinions may be, et cetera, it is really important for us to come together as a group.
Yes, absolutely. So. And with, people catching up with vaccinations, I know that time where we can be face to face real soon.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to it.
Yep. I've had my first shot.
Congratulations. How do you feel, Sandra?
I feel pretty good. I mean, the night after, I slept until noon the next day.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I had the next day off. So I slept until noon the next day. I think it made me a little tired, and there were a couple of times my temperature spiked up a little bit, but it went away really quickly. I didn't have to take anything or anything. So it's been fine, and I look forward to being completely vaccinated because Kevin and I are going to be free to move about the cabin at that point.
Yes, and, trips being planned. We're all going to be doing all the things.
Yes, trips are indeed being planned, and I feel like we're going to feel so much better when we have that immunity. So, yeah, it's good, and
it is. Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah. I was glad that we were able to experience Turners yet again together.
Yes.
And those things are starting to come back. I'm excited for all of us.
Yes. So, yeah, the simplest things, right? Just being able to have a business meeting about book 3 and be able to sit across the table from each other.
Yes.
Just the simple things of life, it's wonderful. It's really wonderful to be getting back to those things. So
weren't we in New York just last year at this time?
Oh my gosh. 1 year ago, we were taking on New York City. So it's just, I can't express how amazing it is to be seeing the end of, the light at the end of the tunnel and being able to see that we're going to be able to come up out of this. We've lost good people, and I cherish, every moment that I'm able to connect with people that I care about right now.
Yes.
Is a precious, precious moment. Leanne and I have been doing work with Festival of the Dead since 2002. And so we have a complex and close relationship with death, perhaps unlike a lot of other people, because we're constantly reminded of our mortality. And when we do psychic mediumship, we are reminded of everything that's going on, on the other side, and we're connecting to what's happening on the other side. But we really do have just a constant, I feel like we have one foot in that other world on a regular basis. And this just took it to another level because we started getting separated from, each other, from people in general, from contact in this plane that we had taken kind of physical contact for granted. When we're hosted in these bodies, part of what we're doing here is experiencing that physical body and physical contact. And so to be separated in a way that we have never been separated in our lives before from people took it to a whole nother level of understanding of what it must be like to be not on the physical plane and not able to connect with the people that you care about. So it has been another grieving process through all of it.
Yeah. Yes, it has. And there's so many things that people missed, are opportunities to celebrate life together, to gather, to spend time, to communicate. But you know what has impressed me during all of this is human beings, our ability to adapt to new situations and survive. That's the first thing. The second, to be able to maintain relationships and to still communicate and to think outside of that box of, it's amazing how we were able to provide people with a little bit of interaction every day with our daily psychic teas when we were able to do that. I think it's fantastic. And I think we've really learned how to think and express in different ways to each other.
It definitely pushed us outside of the norm, and it started several different things, one of which was, having tea every morning, having tea time with people every morning during the shutdown. That brought us closer into our communities, and it just brought us, honest to God, Leanne, you might have to move inside.
I know, I'm like, oh my goodness, girl. I'm like the highway.
Honey, you live near a highway. You might have to move inside. It's very much, it very much brought us closer to the community, and it paved the way for a lot of the material that we used for book 2 and also that we will be using for book 3. So the release date for book 2 has moved up. It's actually going to be September 7th, which is exciting. And I'm so grateful because we get so busy here in Salem in September, because a lot of people are like, oh, it's too crazy busy to come in October, so we'll go in September. So we actually do get a lot of people here in September. So I'm really happy that we will have the book in hand so we can sign books for people. It'll be great.
Awesome. So, tarot of the day, everyone?
Yes, please.
I'm doing something a little different. Oh, come up, stubborn little guy.
Oh, yeah.
The Magus. This card's dedicated to Mercury, the messenger of our own vital life force. This card is your ability to shout to the world, to communicate. It tells you all things are possible. This is the awareness in our own fertilization of our creativity. This when you receive this card, you know that you have to start communicating your own true will, okay? This is the manifestation that all things are possible, but you have to fight for what it is that you want. He is ready to do, to do the work that needs to get done. This image is his message, that this is the word of God that becomes true form, something that we're all capable of, manifesting our own dreams, and every once in a while keeping your ego in check. These are powers that are unused within you that have to be set free, and to renew the things that you used to love to do that you might have put away. If you're relating this to your career, you need to dig in deep and be brave. This is the awareness of your own strength and the symbol of your creative skills. Also, it's not just feeding your creativity, it's feeding others. It's that idea and that jump to much like the fool. Listen, we all go our own way, and we all have our own ability of saying what we need to say. It's getting life by the balls and screaming to the world, I can do it. There are negative sides to this card because it's telling you in a reading that maybe you fear and your energy is ready to explode. So you have held in, you've been like a little Tupperware container, and you've kept all your emotions and your thoughts and your energy inside. So this seed is going to explode at some point. And when it does, God help all those around you, shrapnel to everyone when this goes. So I see this as a wonderful way of learning new communications and discovering your own drive, your own strong will, because we all have will. Do you have the power to wield it? It is an active, wonderful, powerful life. It is your impulse. It's your energy. And when you really want to look at your shadow side, think about your abuse of power and your aggressiveness and your own ego. And maybe you need to create a little more balance, because that's what he's trying to do. He has the seed in his mind. How is he going to communicate his own needs to create and to fertilize his life in the world? And that was very appropriate for me today.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. So we're talking about having tools in the toolbox, right?
Yes.
Realizing that you have the tools
in the toolbox. We don't even have them. Sometimes
he's got all the tools, right? Sometimes you forget you have them. I want to see what the focus is going to be. Just like, how should we approach this? How should we go forward? Especially if we have a challenge that we're dealing with regard to the magician, and how we should handle, maybe how we should approach our power. So let's see what we get with our Ganesha deck here. Decision. Okay. Decision. So as a Libra, it would be my birthright to be wishy-washy. I am not a wishy-washy Libra. It's probably my Taurus rising that saves me. It's time to make some decisions, not to have them made for you. Because, the old adage from the great philosopher Neil Peart, the professor, if you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice. So don't let the choices be made for you. Make the decision. Once you make the decision, commit to it. Move forward knowing that you have the tools in the toolbox. But I think a lot of us are at a point, we're at a decision point right now. I think overall the nation is at a decision point right now. We're seeing some states coming out, beating their chests going, our businesses are open, we're 100% open. And we've got a lot of people in fear right now of that causing a lot more problems and a resurgence. Our numbers are going down and we want them to stay that way. So we have to remember that it's a personal choice. As many people in the government might stand up and say, here's what we're all going to do, we can, like Leanne said, we can go our own way. There's a reason my band's name is Go Your Own Way. Follow your own arrow. Listen to your gut. Do your readings if you want to. Consult whatever oracle you feel is, that you connect with the best. And move forward knowing, you're doing the right thing by you. You cannot control other people. You simply cannot. The amount of energy that it takes to control other people is better spent mastering yourself. And that's another lesson from the magician. Self-mastery. Not outside control and trying to control others. Controlling your reactions to things. And instead of instantly reacting, responding, taking the time to formulate a good response to what is happening. Many, many people get tripped up because they have a knee-jerk reaction and they feel like they have to immediately plow forward. But some of the best decisions I've ever made have been carefully thought out. Sleep on it. Take a moment. Step back. Count to 10. Whatever it takes to get you in your clear mind. Here I am, the air sign, encouraging you, especially if you're a water sign, don't go immediately into your emotions.
Yes, that's something I always do.
Rise up and take that, 50,000 foot view or whatever you want to say. And you know what? Before you do anything, counsel yourself as if your best friend were coming to you and telling you the issue. Take a step outside yourself, remove yourself from the emotion of the situation, and then formulate what you would what you would advise somebody else to do, you might surprise yourself at what you're going to tell yourself should be your next course of action, because it's not going to be that immediate knee-jerk reaction. It's not going to be like all of a sudden, I'm going to explode and I'm going to, possibly ruin some relationships or possibly damage relationships with my knee-jerk reaction. You need to take a step back and really consider what's happening and think about it and act from there. But once you make your decision, follow through and stick to it. Whatever it is, think about it. Think about, and you know what turned up right behind it? Empowerment. One leads to the other, folks. If you want to be empowered, you need to make some decisions. This is a time to plan ahead for this year. This is a time to go ahead and start making plans. We're coming into spring. It's a time to start planning for things and making some decisions about how we want to approach our, what we're going to reap and sow this year. So,
absolutely.
And spring.
And I'm hoping everyone, when, I'm planning so many amazing things. And I think that when everyone takes a minute, if you can take a minute, really meditate on whether it's just your own personal skill and wisdom, and take pride in the things that you've worked for. I think that your own magic, your own intelligence and your own creativity is going to shine through, but every once in a while, I understand we all need to put our ego to bed on occasion, but there's nothing wrong with having some pride in the hard work that you have done and, realizing, like, this was kind of a shocker. I picked these cards out randomly, that I too have a toolbox. And it is filled with my own gifts, my own knowledge, and my own ability to go with the flow. I think that's, as we approach the spring equinox, I want you all to wonder what seeds you're sowing. And I want you to realize that you actually have the ability to create life.
I think it's so important also to make a little commentary right now about jealousy and about comparison and how comparison breeds jealousy. So the idea is for each of us to go ahead and do our own thing and bring our own magic into the world, our own unique magic. And sometimes when you're watching someone else do that, instead of digging deep into yourself and saying, what's my magic? What do I have to contribute? People just try to copy other people and say, well, I want what she's having, like Meg Ryan in that deli, I want what she's having. But what's going to get you there is not the same exact thing. That's the thing. What's really, if you want true fulfillment, you are going to have to dig inside yourself and find your special talents. What's in your toolbox that's uniquely you? Not what's there for others, but what is uniquely you. And go with that. You need to be able to say, this is something that's coming from me and my practice. Who cares what other people are doing? I don't have to do the exact same thing as them in order to be good or in order to stand out or in order to be successful. I don't have to do exactly what someone else is doing. I can do my own thing my way, and I'll attract my tribe, and I'll bring those to me who are interested in what I'm doing. And they will also hopefully themselves feel inspired and empowered to do that same thing, not to copy what's already been done, but to do something. You're going to need to mute yourself when you're not talking.
I am. I said the freaking. Okay. So yeah, I've experienced that a lot with different magical traditions. Who's better, who's this and who's that. Love your own shit, people. Love your own. Love what you're being served. I am the worst person when it comes to food envy. I'll be at a restaurant and somebody will order something and I'll be like, I need to taste that. So it's my lesson is to learn to love what I'm eating right now. Learn to love what you're being served, and learn to love your own gifts and your own the way you believe. If you have beliefs, you don't have to shape your beliefs. You don't have to shape yourself. Just love who you are in this moment. And when you do, others are so attracted to it. Just walk with joy and pride and love thyself.
That's right. That's right. And I'm watching the comments come up, and I'm seeing a lot of people who are doing that exact thing. People that we know, that we've been sharing some magic with over the past year, since the shutdown, which happened just about at this time last year. And so many of them are stars into their own right. In our galaxy, when we look up, we see them, they're stars. And I think it's so important to remind everybody, in the words of Crowley, every man and every woman is a star. Everyone has their own light to shine. Nobody needs to take it away from someone else in order to shine. We can all shine. There's room enough for everyone. Look at WitchCon had almost 100 presenters, right? Every one of them brought something special of themselves to the table. And that was beautiful and wonderful. And so many people are going to be enriched by that, by just experiencing what those teachers had to teach. And I feel like there's no reason for anyone to be placed any higher or any lower. It's one of the things I love about HexFest and WitchCon. Nobody is billed as the superstar. Nobody is billed as the keynote. Nobody is above anybody else on that in the strata. It's just, here are the people that are appearing. Here's what they're teaching. The knowledge leads, not the personalities. The knowledge leads. What is this person bringing to the table? That's what takes center stage. It's not about, the cult of personality and we have to put, the A-list people on this rung, and then we're going to have the B-list and the C-list in the little fine print. Nope. It's not done that way. And I really am proud of that. And I really respect that, because I think it's like saying, hey, what do you have to share? That's what's more important, not how many people you have on your Insta. What do you have to share? That's what's important.
Couldn't have said it any better.
On that note, I think that Tim Soaring Wolf probably has a lot to share. We're having all the planets direct right now.
Yes.
It's mover and shaker energy big time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hi, welcome. I mean, hello. Great show so far. Just, I love how the show starts. I have really no idea what you all are going to talk about, but it just really flows into a lot of the things that I plan to talk about, looking at it from an astrological perspective. But here we are in the season of Pisces, and Pisces, ruled by Neptune. Of course, the traditional ruler is Jupiter. But this season of Pisces, Pisces is all about blurring boundaries and accepting everyone in all walks of life. And so I really feel that there is a lot of blurring of boundaries right now in a lot of different ways. And this is where we may have to, like you said, come to make some decisions on some things, learn to firm up certain boundaries, but at the same time, allow just this really blissful, loving, compassionate energy of the universe right now to flow into our lives. Let me do a screen share here. See if I can get this, Lou.
You got this.
All right. I'm sorry, it takes me, this is the first time I do this. Let's see if I can get it, guys. All right, so there is, did it come up? Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
So this is where we are. Yes, this is where we are right now. And if we look over here, the sign of Pisces, we've got the Sun, Neptune, Venus, all really close together. Now, I should mention Venus is exalted in Pisces, which means that the environment and house of Pisces that provides all the necessary resources for Venus to really flourish. Venus loves just art, beauty, creative romance, and Pisces is all about all of those things. And so really enhances these Venus energies. Neptune is at home in Pisces, so again, those energies are enhanced. And the Sun, although it's not enhanced in Pisces, but it is considered a benefic of the universe, so it's adding that positive energy. And so this is why I said, starting about a week ago, I believe on the 5th, when Venus got within 10 degrees, and they were all within 10 degrees of each other, that this next about 15 days would be just a really great time to vacation or get away, enjoy these positive energies, because on a negative note, Pisces can be about escapism, and that is including through drugs and alcohol and other vices. But on the positive, think of a getaway, vacation, escaping to that fantasy, that illusion that we've been wanting to. So again, this energy is still going to continue all the way until this upcoming week. Let's see, we've got the new moon in 2 days. The moon is already in Pisces right now, so we actually have 4 planets in Pisces at the moment, and that will lead into this new moon in 2 days. But in 2 days, we're going to get again another influx of assessing where are we having our compassion, where's our love, where is our unity, and bringing together things. Ironically, Neptune is the planet that is said to influence pandemics. So it's no wonder that around Pisces season, we have allergies. We've got flu season pick up again. But a year ago was, when all of this started, this pandemic. And I wanted to show a comparison of what it looked like a year ago. So I'm going to do 2020 here. We'll go back a year. So, right around this time, we still had Neptune and Sun and Pisces, but we had all of these major conjunctions happening in Capricorn that we were coming out of. And of course, that was the seed starters for a lot that happened last year. So last year was when all of this stuff really started. We entered a new era, a new element of air, switching from water. And so there was a lot of huge, major, big starters that happened last year. Now we build upon that. And now we're building upon that. So I think we've gotten through a lot of crazy energies in February. February, we had Mercury retrograde, we had the stellium in Aquarius, but now things are smoothing out. In a week, we've got that the spring equinox coming up on the 20th. So we've got the new moon in 2 days, and then a week after that is the spring equinox. And they say in astrology, because it is the last week of the astrological year, that this is the week of the quickening. And this is when things actually start speeding up. And we're going to see even more things speeding up when the sun enters Aries. Venus is going to enter Aries at the same time. Again, a lot of love. So that kickoff for the spring equinox, there could be a beginning of new relationships, a new infusion of love in your current relationships. But yes, this as we build up to this last week, the week of the quickening. I remember last year, that week of quickening, everything sped up. The stock market completely shifted and changed, and that's when they shut down all restaurants, and it was just a crazy, crazy week. So I don't see any kind of craziness happening again, but things are going to start speeding up. So again, that planning, as you mentioned, Sandra, really start to get into that deciding factor, start making those decisions, building upon what's going to start as we enter also the new astrological year, starts with the spring equinox. But that is, a little bit of what we have happening. We do also have the full moon on the 28th of March, which is going to kind of balance everything out that's happening. But for now, my creativity has been stirred this past week. I've actually been doing some drawing, some painting. That is another positive aspect of Pisces, and tap into that creativity right now and use that. Bring your ideas to the table, put them into paper. I had this, I've never done this before. This is really funny, but I've always had this dream of what my dream house would look like if I ever had the money and I could actually build it. And it would be a very French style, even some New Orleans type of architecture. And with my wife loves the iron, like those really beautiful French style iron balconies and that sort of thing. But I actually put it on paper for the first time in my life. It was like a 3-page drawing, all the different floors and everything. And it was just really fun to do that. And who knows where that may lead to and what I may end up manifesting. But tap into that creativity, put it on paper, bring those ideas out, because this is when a lot of ideas and creativity is really flourishing. And it's a great release of any kind of energy, of any negative energy, channeling anger or anything into something creative can take negative energy and turn it into something beautiful. That is the transmutation or transformation. That's you can take negative energy, use that energy, channel it into something creative, and there you go, like a butterfly, something ugly that turns into something beautiful. But that is, in a nutshell, what we have coming up. There is so much more happening. We've talked about this grand age of Aquarius that a lot of people have been talking about. We did have this grand conjunction in Aquarius, and then the stellium in Aquarius. So still lots of Aquarian energy throughout this whole year and into the next 200 years. But still seeing lots of movement and progression in regards to communications, travel. We've got all these electric cars, inventions, new inventions coming up, a new technology coming up. Technology does extend into the medical field, and the vaccines that are happening. So this is another reason why it's probably why the vaccines have moved so quickly. Before this time, I think the fastest vaccine was 4 or 5 years. But yes, I didn't hear any noise. Did you say something, Sandra? Is that me? Oh, okay. Great. But yes, as we continue into this year, we're going to still continue to see a lot of this Aquarian energy, looking to the group, the majority, looking at, how are we going to progress as a human culture. And there are a lot of astrologers that don't believe we are in the age of Aquarius yet, based on the precession of the equinoxes and all that stuff. But one thing that I noticed is in the age of Pisces, a lot of things are hidden. So we're talking about Pisces again. This is looking at some of the negative aspects, but think about when the TV was created. The past 100 or a couple hundred years, media has played a huge part in influencing us to tell us what is safe, what is healthy, what we need to go out and buy, what we need to invest our money in, what we should be doing, just everything, right? TV, media, marketing has really influenced our lives. And to me, that is kind of the illusion of the Pisces fantasy. But now in Aquarius, things are coming out into the open. Things aren't as hidden. People don't want to hide things anymore. Now we've got these social media and everything being caught on camera. People, things that they thought would never come up again are, coming up. And we got cancel culture, people being canceled, that sort of thing. So I really believe with all of that is kind of proof that this Aquarian energy is prevalent in the air and will continue to be. Aquarius is about the progression of all humanity. So therefore, a lot of things will come out of hiding, will come to the surface. Because they want to look at everything with a clear picture, that air elements with a fresh breeze air, all of that stuff.
I definitely feel like when you're discussing, since you're talking about a little bit about cancel culture, I feel like we really have to be careful about who is doing the canceling and why are we trusting them to make our decisions for us. Why are we listening to other people and what they, feel everyone should do? If you don't like something, don't buy it, don't participate in it, don't pay attention to it, don't put your energy into it. You know what I mean? But why are you starting to make decisions for everyone else on what they're allowed to pay attention to or like or enjoy or what have you? You know what I mean? It's like, it's getting to a point now where people are doing the exact, we've got people that are doing the exact opposite, or they were railing against, the boomer, culture of like, oh, I don't like that, so it shouldn't exist. Right. And they've now brought it 100% back right into that. That's problematic. It shouldn't exist. And it's like, you're doing the exact thing that you were so upset about doing. You're turning around and doing it now. So we have to really be careful and make decisions for ourselves. based on our interactions, our experiences, I'm not saying don't listen to any trusted advisors. Obviously, if you have someone that you trust and you trust their, you trust their judgment when they tell you, hey, this is going on. I'm not saying automatically discount that, but for God's sake, do your own research and figure it out for yourself. Don't just buy everything at face value and say, okay, that's bad. And the other thing is, when it comes to people, you have to be really careful, because really nobody is all bad or all good. So when you say, okay, so someone had a negative experience with a person, or someone had a negative experience with covens. Let's take covens as a perfect example. I can't tell you the number of times over the course of my being involved with covens, which is since I was about, I don't know, I've been active in a coven since I was about 28 years old. So since that time, I have heard so many people say, oh, I'm never going to be in a coven because I had this negative experience, or my friend had this negative experience, or this happened 10 years ago. So I'm no longer interested in covens. And it's like, not all covens are the same. Not all traditions are the same. And so you can't really, why would you say never to something that's like saying, well, I had a bad relationship one time, so I'm never going to be in a relationship again. A guy cheated on me, so I'm never going to be with a guy again, or, whatever. It's like, that doesn't make any real sense. It's like, of course you're going to thank you. Of course you're going to have sometimes negative experiences. And does that mean you just end the whole thing? It's like, okay, well, I had one bad example of something, so now I'm just never going to do it again.
So looking at it astrologically, and we're talking about this Aquarian energy in the air. Aquarius, one of the things that is about that sign is about the youth. Aquarians love new things. They love new inventions. This also pertains to youth. Some Aquarians I know have issues with getting old or accepting the fact they're getting old. If you have an Aquarian friend, you might want to ask them, see if that's true. But this is because they are really focused on youth. So again, with this Aquarian energy, I feel like it's really giving a lot of energy to youth and for their voices to be heard. Now, are their voices necessarily 100% good or bad? Like you said, not all the time, but this is, we've seen it like for example, with the situation with GameStop and with the stock market, and how a bunch of users on Reddit got a lot of young people going. And again, I think this has a lot to do with technology and with social media. We're still learning the power of social media, but social media gets out there and they can really get something really going, like the GameStop stock or these other stock markets where a lot of older boomer generation lost money. But it's really going to depend how we use this power, this new power that's emerging from our youth and from technology and social media. But this is all going to lead into the lessons of Aquarius and how we connect with others, how we use and exchange information and communication. We've got Mars and Gemini right now, so communication is huge. And then also the new moon on the 13th is the end of the shadow period of Mercury retrograde. So we are fully out of retrograde. But sorry to switch gears on a different note there, but I just wanted to say that.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I actually wanted to jump in on what you were saying, because you were talking about creativity and inspiration. And honestly, one of the things that I wanted to talk about is one of the stones that is a constant companion for me on this authorship journey is Citrine. And this is a buddy of mine. This is the owl. This is my owl.
Right.
And I'm trying to get it so you can see.
Oh, he is wise and beautiful.
Right.
I do. I love it.
Right. And so,
wow.
Yeah. So Citrine really brings in that growth and new beginnings energy of the sun, of like, let's start something. Let's get inspired. Let's breathe something to life. Let's let our creativity flow and see what comes of it. And I think it also empowers us in a sense that it gives us that strength to say, I can just let this out. I don't have to perfect this on the way out. let this flow and see where it goes without judgment. Let me just bring this into the world and not judge it. Let me just go ahead and whatever I'm feeling, I'm going to put this on paper, or I'm like you did, you finally drew it out and everything. Let me just see where this goes. Even it's just for me. I don't have to show anybody. This is the other thing about social media. You don't have to show everybody everything, guys. Keep some things for yourself.
Absolutely.
Keep some things. A good friend of mine today, Lauren Morris, posted on her Facebook that she had purchased a necklace. She wasn't going to show everyone. It was just for her. But she did show the little free gift that the maker had enclosed in the package for her. And I thought, good for you, girl. Keep that magic to yourself. Don't always show everybody everything. It's not meant for everybody all the time. Sometimes we need to create just for ourselves. So many people have asked me, why didn't you ever try to get into professional music? Why do you just tool around as in a tribute band or a cover band? Why didn't you ever actually go for actual, like a career in music? I said, I didn't want to do that for work. I want to do it for play. I didn't want to have someone else controlling my creativity and controlling my outlet. That's my outlet. That's where I go to nurture myself. I don't want to put that in the hands of another person. And to be in the music industry, I hate that word, but it's true. To be in the industry means to put the power in other people. And I didn't want that. So it's like, I want to do these things just for me. And I know you've got stuff that you want to do just for you, and you should.
I love that.
For yourself.
Yes,
bring it into being. You don't have to share it. You don't even have to share it on social media if you don't want to, or learn how to use your filters. So you're creating a strong group of people that will support you, and just share to them. Just share to the people that are going to cheer you on. No negative Nellies in there. All people that'll be your rah-rah girls and cheer you on in your efforts. That's it. Other than that, just keep it for yourself. It's okay. It's okay to keep things private. It's okay to do. Even people in covens have private magic that they do. Even people in covens have solitary practice. They keep things to themselves. They don't share everything they do with everyone they do magic with. You have the power. We started this out talking about boundaries, right, Tim?
Yes.
You started talking about boundaries, and we started talking about decisions too, and tools in the toolbox. Sometimes your creative magic isn't meant to be shared with the world. Sometimes it's just for you. And maybe someday you'll share it. Maybe someday you'll decide that you're going to share it. But especially when you're just starting out, it's okay to just be private about it, until maybe you're ready to share. And maybe that day may never come. Sing in the shower, sing in your car. You don't necessarily have to get up on a microphone in front of a crowd of people. Do what makes you happy. If it brings you joy, go ahead and do it. You don't necessarily have to broadcast it to the world. If you want to write poetry, write poetry. You don't have to publish it. Just write it. The act of bringing it into creation is going to nurture you, allowing yourself to express that energy that you have inside of you, allowing yourself to let it out and bring it into the world. That's part of the magic, and not necessarily having to have other people validate it.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You're saying this. I literally was going to mention, I have been writing poetry. Not very many people know that I write poetry. I show it to maybe one, often only one person gets to read it. And it is for me. It's how I de-stress. It is how sometimes they're offerings. It's my choice. I write poetry about deity. I write poetry about my daily life. I write poetry about my dog, and all how that may seem silly. And why would I share it with the world if they were going to laugh or snicker? Maybe they would love it, and then it would become, like you said, Sandra, then it becomes work. I do it because it helps me in my life, and because it's just another tool for me to use. It makes me feel powerful.
Yeah.
I love what you the animal, the owl that you showed. I have a Celtic deck, and the message of the owl in that deck is about stealth and working silently towards your goals, only sharing with those that you know support you and are loyal to you, not sharing with the whole world.
Yes.
But also, you know, working silently, being careful who you trust, but keeping those eyes and ears open for opportunities. So I thought it was really perfect that you showed the owl first and then went on to talk about that
Right.
exact message. But as you're talking about releasing and putting that creativity, and like how you've put Leanne, those poetry, I can, and you probably know this also, but when I actually put it down on paper, it really did just feel so good. I didn't share it on social media. I didn't really share it with anybody except, you know, for my wife that saw me doing it. But it was like a nice release, just a nice creative release. So speaking from experience, because I just do that, it does feel amazing, and I encourage everybody to try that.
Yeah. Some things you belong to you. Some things that belong to you. When I was first young, I remember buying myself my first pretty bra. Let's get intimate now. And I remember saying to my mother, well, no one will ever see it. Why would I want to get something like that? She goes, because you see you. Because you see you. Because you see it helps you see the beauty within yourself. Because if it makes you feel powerful, it belongs to you.
I'm telling you right now, going into anything, like going into an important meeting or like a job interview or anything like that, when you know you have something sexy like that on under that suit, it just empowers you in a way that I can't explain. It's like you've got a secret. You're walking in there, it's like you've got a secret, and it's so awesome. You know, I can't explain, but I think you probably know. It's like if you put on something like that, but you're going to put a suit over it, you're going to be buttoned up, and you're going to do what, you know, whatever's to be expected, I suppose, in that arena, but you've got that little silent, you know, inside joke with yourself. It's so awesome. It's another way to empower yourself when you're going into a situation where you don't have the upper hand necessarily. You might feel like, okay, you know, these people are going to make the decision on if I get to be a part of this company that I really want to work for or not, you know, or something like that. Where ultimately, you know, confidence, you got it, Branda, confidence. It's like, it's a confidence builder. That's right.
And how many people out there?
Hilarious.
How many people out there have tattoos that just are for them? They're in places that, you know, some people get to see and some people don't. But it's just there for you. It's not on a place that's so obvious. It's your own private gift to yourself. Give yourself the gift of privacy. Sandra and I, we've lived lives as only children. So, you know, sometimes I have that ability to be alone and have things just for me. And I want everyone else to experience that treasure of self, of this is yours. This is my tattoo on my back that, you know, not everyone gets to see. This is my book of poetry that helps me de-stress, that helps me put my friend. I've written about people that I know. You have a poem about you. It's in here. And it helps me process things in my life. Have your own story. Write it and keep it for yourself.
That's right. And that is a part of magic, honestly. And that's why to be silent is actually part of that pyramid. You know, it's part of that whole, you know, idea of sometimes we don't want to take a picture of the spell we're doing and putting it on the internet prior to the spell doing its thing and achieving its thing. If you want to share it after the fact, that's your choice, but I would advise against sharing it prior to it actually getting its job done. And there's a lot of beliefs about why, and one of them is what we talked about earlier, jealousy, the envy of other people, the evil eye, the idea that someone might understand what it is you deeply want and deliberately try to keep you from it any way that they can out of jealousy. And this is because people don't believe that they can get these things for themselves and do these things for themselves. They see you achieving it and going for it. And they themselves, instead of saying, hey, wow, she's really raising the bar, I'm going to jump that bar. They're saying, hey, I don't have that. Why should she have it? I don't have it. I don't want her to have it. That'll make me feel even worse that I don't have it. And it's like, that's not how to act. The way, the path of magic is to empower you to go and get the things and do the things and be the things, you yourself, not somebody else, and not to worry about what anyone else is doing. You're on your path. Yes, even people in covens, you're on your own path. Every single one of you. Everyone that's hearing the sound of my voice right now, you are a unique individual with your own trajectory. Do not compare yourself to the trajectory of others. It will only bring you, it will only bring you sorrow, never joy. Always just live in your own truth in the sense that you are bringing into being your unique vibration, your unique expression of your part of the soul of all of us, of the universe, like your unique expression of that. Bring that into being. Don't worry about anybody else. Bring you into being.
Absolutely.
We experienced that copy on last week, and when people wanted, try to plug the, rename the show and couldn't be original, and I think they're at it again.
Oh yeah, they jumped in here. And
they're doing it right now again. And I'm like, yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm like, stop.
Block that person out of here right now. I don't know what you're doing in here, but you don't belong in here doing that. Stop harassing all of our people. Like, honestly, go get your own show. Go do your own thing. If people want to get a reading with you, they'll seek you out,
Yeah,
no successful psychic that I ever have known has ever had to shill their readings on somebody else's page. So obviously, if you have to come here and do that, you're not a very good psychic. Go back and study some more. Go back and tap into your own self and your own higher energy, and then you'll draw the clients that are meant to be with you. Stop trying to come get our clients. Go get your own. Stay in your lane. Get out of ours. Thanks. Bye.
Speaking of tapping in, I didn't forget to mention, I don't know, Pisces, one of the biggest things is their spirituality, their connection to the divine, and always wanting to bring that connection. So this is the perfect time, coming up on this new moon, we're going to feel that focus. What are we doing with our spirituality? And, how are we combining that into our practical life and finding the balance between our spiritual and our physical world. So keep that in mind as well. Coming up on this new moon in Pisces in 2 days, we're going to see more Pisces energy in a little bit, leaning more on our emotions, leaning more on our intuition than our logic. And that is perfectly okay. There's nothing wrong with that. So trust your gut. Definitely these next 10 days, because it is going to be very spot on with all of this Pisces energy blurring with the universe right now.
I love it.
Awesome.
I'm feeling really good about the planetary energy right now with so many things direct. I feel stuff is really starting to move forward. I'm getting that 8 of Wands energy.
Yeah.
Zoom.
April 27th, Pluto goes retrograde, but from now until then, all planets are direct, and therefore it is a clear sign of the universe. Anything that you want to move forward on, to move forward, go direct. We've been planning. We've talked about how we were in the planning stages before, and with Mercury retrograde. And so now hopefully we planned, and now we are ready to move forward. But any projects you want to get off the ground, this is a great time to just make that decision. Like you said, Sandra, and just go for it. Decide what you're going to do and just do it. It's, time to get off the bench now.
That's right. So Tim, Miranda and I'm sure a bunch of other people are wondering how they can get their chart done by you.
Oh, yes.
Free to get their chart done.
Yes, February was a challenging month. I don't do a lot of readings during Mercury retrograde anyways, but I'm past that now. So I am open for appointments, and you can message me on Facebook. I'm easily found, Tim McGovern or Tim Soaring Wolf. Still working on my page, but I'm getting a new page coming up soon, so that's exciting for me. But yes, feel free to message me on any questions. I do live readings as well as email. Email takes longer, obviously, typed reports, but live readings are the fastest way to get answers, and I do combination between astrology and cards. That's my favorite reading, because you look at everything external, then you kind of go more for specific questions at the end, and that's where the cards come in. But yes, I'm definitely will respond to any questions as quickly as I can.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank
you,
Tim.
Love it, love it. And of course, Leanne can be found at Pentagram.
Yes.
Pentagram Shop.
Pentagram Shop. You can either book a reading online or shop online at pentagramsalem.com, or give the store a call. There we are.
Yes.
Here's Pentagram. So you can always find Leanne at Pentagram. I'm not really doing readings. I'm not doing really private reading. I have a couple of clients that I still handle. But I am so deep in the book right now. I am not taking any new clients. So definitely go to Leanne, go to Tim. I cannot take on any clients right now for psychic readings, but
yay.
Yeah. But Leanne and I are looking forward to being able to do in-person tea events again.
Yes, really looking forward to.
And I do believe that that's coming. And the first one, the only one that we have scheduled right now is our morning tea in October, which is going to be, believe it or not, you guys, Halloween morning.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Halloween morning.
I hope
to see. First time. It's the first time, isn't it, Leanne?
Yes. I cannot wait. I'm so excited.
On Halloween.
This is going to be
on Halloween.
Fabulous.
The morning tea.
Yay.
On Halloween.
Yay.
So powerful.
Amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's gonna be epic. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone. Well, hope everyone enjoys the birth of spring.
Yes.
As the earth awakens.
Our next show, we're going to have a guest.
Yes.
Should I tell them who the guest is?
I don't know. I'm so excited. Go ahead. Go ahead, so they can mark it in their calendar, because no one's going to want to miss this.
Yes. So I have to settle on the date.
Okay.
I have to make sure she's available.
All right.
But Silver Ravenwolf has expressed an interest in coming on the show. So we will be talking with Silver Ravenwolf on the next show.
Yay.
Stay on our page to see the date.
Yes. Share our link.
And share once you do.
Share.
And share this show too, guys, because people can watch after the fact. So please feel free to share our show on your pages. We appreciate the support, as always. We love talking with you guys. Definitely. So tickets for Festival of the Dead events are at festivalofthedead.com. That's where you can get the tickets to the morning tea. It's at festivalofthedead.com. And just click on the morning tea, because there'll be a link in the sidebar. And then pay attention to the Psychic Teas page, and because we will have other events as soon as we can, as soon as it's safe and everybody's good to be meeting in person. We will have other events in this general area, and perhaps a bit outside of our area as well.
Mm-hmm. We need a trip to the Cape and maybe to the Caribbean. Yes. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful month. We will see you in April.
Yes.